Alright, what up guys? It's your boy Yushin. So most of you guys probably know that most of my videos tend to be very, chill and lighthearted. It's usually exploring a bunch of places and, things to see. But this video especially will be, a fairly serious topic. So by now, I'm sure like a lot of you are aware of what's happening in China right now, especially in Wuhan with the coronavirus. And I guess this is the first time I'm appearing on camera, so I'm all suited up, got my mask, and whenever I go out, so I keep my hood down to avoid, making eye contact with people, and I tend to keep a fair distance away from other people. And also, I can't go out without my gloves, especially, just to keep safe. So yeah, it's pretty much like, the situation. It's like lots of public places are either on lockdown or they're people are discouraged from going out to public places besides maybe the supermarket to get food. But yeah, in general though, like most of the streets are like empty. I mean, it's almost like a ghost town, and you rarely see anyone when you go outside. And when you do go outside, it's pretty much mandatory to wear masks. So yeah, I mean, definitely, it's important to keep precautions, to keep vigilance, and to take the right kind of measures to keep yourself safe at the moment. So I mean, like every time I touch something, I always have to wash my hands with soap, and also I take like 2 to 3 showers a day, quite literally, and I always keep the heater on in my apartment right now, just to take extra precautions. But that's not really, but the point of this video is not about me though. I mean, there are a couple of certain issues that I would like to address in this video, and I hope, it doesn't bother you guys too much. Alright, so the first major issue I want to kind of get out of the way is the whole deal with the statistics. So essentially all of the data pertaining to the number of people who have confirmed to have had the virus, like people who have been suspected to have it, people who have died, and also people who have managed to recover from it. So I know a lot of the data right now is kind of sketchy because not only besides the normal, the usual like conspiracy theorists running around, but also you've got sometimes like people spreading false information online. So it's a little bit difficult to kind of separate the fact from fiction unless you like do really thorough digging by yourself and try to like piece all the information together. But so far, according to what's been kind of going around, not only on government websites, but also based on like information that's been shared around like WeChat social circles and also like social media lately, we can kind of I guess you can say like compile it down to this. So essentially it comes down to this. You've got 14,483 confirmed cases of people who've got the virus, 19,544 people who are suspected of having it, 379 approximately people who are cured, and approximately 304 people who have died from the virus. So the numbers have noticeably grown, not super exponentially, but they have like, increased over this past week. So I mean, just because at the beginning of the week there was like 200 something deaths, but now it's over 300. So yeah. But anyways, as you guys can probably tell from the numbers, regardless of whether or not it is like 100% accurate, this is no laughing matter. This is a time where people should be helping each other out, supporting each other, and finding a solution to get over this crisis. Which actually brings me to my second social issue that I want to address. And that issue is the noticeable amount of, vitriol, bias, discrimination, and quite frankly, like racism against people of Chinese ethnicity or anyone who's of East Asian ethnicity in general. That's been noticeably growing, especially in the Western media. And the reason why this is such a problem is because oftentimes in the West, people like to emphasize, the idea of humanity and treating other people humanely, being civilized and having certain standards. So the reason why this is so laughable is because oftentimes they'll have double standards, like they'll be saying, oh, people should be civilized and be doing certain practices. But at the same time, though, when it comes to people, especially from China, more often than not, they'll be bashed in the media. They'll be demonized as, eating anything that moves, essentially like having uncivilized practices and that kind of thing. So, I mean, the amount of double standards for first off is quite frankly like, ridiculous and laughable because one thing is for sure, people in China are people, human beings, like anywhere, people in any other country. I mean, I've been here for many years now. I've known people who are, people. They're perfectly capable of having their own opinions, their own thoughts, and their own ideas of how they want to live their life and what's acceptable behavior or not. You know, the minority of people who do behave badly does not constitute the majority of the population. So, for one thing, unfairly generalizing all people in China as being uncivilized and that kind of thing is quite frankly, disgusting. It's not true. And, it's a huge disservice and quite frankly, very contradictory to the so-called humanity and humane ideals that people in the West like to espouse so much. So the point I'm trying to make is that, I'm not trying to promote like anti-Western hatred or anti like white racism or any of that kind of thing. So I mean, if people are watching, if anyone who is like white or people who are non-Chinese, non-Asian are watching this and taking this the wrong way, I'm sorry if you feel that way, but that's not my intent right now. However, I will say that regardless of, whatever outcome may be, if you're going to espouse the ideas of humanity and humane treatment and being civil, then racism is not definitely does not fit that criteria. Especially racism against people in China, people of Chinese ethnicity, or people who are of East Asian ethnicity that you think might resemble Chinese people. So for basically for my fellow, you know, people of Chinese ethnicity or people of East Asian ethnicity who are, either living in the West, like living, working there, have immigrated, or are just like, studying abroad, keep your heads up. Don't take, don't let these anyone who's treating you unfairly, being racist to you, like get to you. And if necessary, don't be afraid to get physical or, put them in their place if it's absolutely necessary. So I mean, obviously, like, violence or using physical force is not exactly the best solution for a lot of problems. Like many times it's better to try to reason with words. But what I've noticed from the amount of time I've lived so far is that sometimes certain people just cannot be reasoned with words. Like some people are just extremely stubborn or they just won't listen to you because their head is up their ass. So essentially, to anyone who is of a Asian ethnicity or who is ethnically Chinese living abroad right now, if you do experience racism, don't hesitate to actually use force if you need to stick it to them. And especially for people who are actually, Chinese diaspora, so people who are from mainland China, from Hong Kong, from Taiwan, from Singapore, Malaysia, just essentially anyone who's born and raised in an Asian country and is ethnically Chinese. The same thing applies to you guys as well. Keep your heads up, defend yourselves from racists, and don't be afraid to, have backbone and stand up for yourself. So in any case, this is not really the time to be spreading hatred, to be spreading false information, to be bashing China, to be, spreading vitriol and that kind of those negative emotions. Right now is the time to be helping each other out, to be finding a solution to get through this problem, and essentially to, encourage each other so that we can get through this. And because people in China are just like people pretty much everywhere else. We are people, we are human beings, and also we are perfectly capable of having our own opinions and our own thoughts, and basically having our own ideas about how we want to live our life. So, we are not all a whole horde of zombies that are blindly loyal to the government because I've known lots of people, I've met and known lots of people throughout my years here. Some people are supportive of the government, some people not so much. Others are like neutral and just kind of indifferent to most of the things. But in general, though, people are people. We have our own thoughts and ideas. So that's why, do not discount people in China as being, brainwashed CCP like zombies or trolls. We are human beings like the rest of us, and we deserve our integrity and respect as well. So, in any case, before anyone watching this will dismiss me as being some kind of, some Wu Mao, some 50-cent army, some like CCP paid troll, etc. This is all my own opinion based on my number of years of living in China, and also, based on my experiences I've had in China, and currently in the middle of this outbreak, in the situation, like up front, experiencing it firsthand. So that's the reason why, I will say it again, support the people of Wuhan and support the people of China in general, as well as any other non-Chinese people in the world who may have been affected by this virus. Support each other, and we will find a solution to this problem and get over it. I trust that we can find an effective solution to it. This is not the end of the world. So that's pretty much what I want to say, kind of get a message out of encouragement to everyone and let you guys know that just like, all the Chinese people in China, I am here with you guys. I am not 100%, symptom free. I have my own fair share of problems I need to get over. And yeah, so we're all in this together. So we will get through this together as well. So peace, guys. Keep your heads up. And love and peace.
Follow the leader. 그래 나도 널 필요해 하든 난 필요해줘. 세상에 지친 날 좀 푸른하는 위로해줘. 잘 기록해둬 내 이름을 네 머릿속 짓게. 나와 함께 매 순간을 네 머릿속 지우개로 지우지마. 이 자리 비우지마. 현실이 좋을지라도 꽉 잡아 키우지마. 내가 바람 펴도 너는 절대 피우지마. 나만 바라봐 태양처럼 네 곁에는 listening.